I thought y'all might be interested in seeing this. This is, since we didn't make any catches today and I didn't put any new sets, and the sun actually poked out for just a second, I thought I'd make a loop around my, when I first got down here to the farm, that first trap line loop that I put in, made those first catches and everything. I'm driving that area, I'm making that loop again just to see the area without the water in it. They've got most of the water drained out of these woods, and this tree right up here is the one where I had set the trap, and I talked about it being clogged up, your animal could get released. And for you guys that are following along, have been watching all the videos, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you don't and you're interested, you can go back to the beginning where I started, and that's my whole trap line this year has been recorded, and you'll know what I'm talking about. But where we had the trap caught, and I talked about it getting clogged up, and then the next morning it was clogged up exactly like I talked about. And then we ended up, I think, making a raccoon catch here. But you can see, I mean, the water is just completely drained out of the timber now. All that was water as far as you could see, and now it's not. Just right up here a little ways, and I'll show you as we drive by, was that big beaver hut that was in the water, and we'll drive by it and look at it. But what I'm doing basically is I'm driving down through here, and I'm looking to see how well of a job I did. See where new beaver activity is, if they push fresh mud up, if there's still movement, these crossovers, if they're still using them or not. And that tells me if I got most of the beaver that were living in that area out, or if I missed a couple and they're still in there. That way I'll know when I come back next year, I'll know what areas I need to go to first and concentrate on to get those remaining beaver out. But anyway, I just thought you guys might find that interesting. All this water's drained out of here now. We'll hop back here in the mule and drive down here, and I'll show you this hut. All right, guys, so here's another spot. I was going to stop and show you that beaver hut across there, and I was talking and forgot to stop and do it. But this is the spot where I had the two conibears set guarding that hole on the other side, and I put the flag tape on top of the trap so I could see if it was stripped or not. We never made any catches here at this little hut, but I just show you the difference of what I guess that was 3 weeks ago when I got down here and started first getting all this set up. And you can see the dramatic change of the water levels, how much they pumped out of here and holding in that reservoir to water their crops in the summer. And right here's another good example of why I'm driving around today. All this being in water, I can't tell where the trails are at. I can't really tell their movement, and I don't see any new activity here. So it makes me think that I've got all the beavers out of here for now. But if you'll notice right down here, and I'm not going to climb down there and look today, but you can see that main travel way where the water and stuff flows. And then right here, I've got another little path that's cleared through that moss and grass that comes over here to the bank. And I would almost bet you money that's either going to be a crossover coming across this levee over into this big ditch, or it's going to be a bank den, a hole that they've got dug into this bank for another house. So they'll have that hut over there, and then they'll have a bank den on this side coming in. But anyway, just thought you might find it interesting. Right up here by these pipes is where I had the coyote caught today, and I pulled him by the tail and released him out of the trap by hand. It was just right up here beside where you see these pipes sticking up. And then on up just a little bit farther is where we had all the predators set on top of this hill, and just basically makes a loop around all this timber in here. And I'm just traveling it, looking areas I had set and seeing how I did. But we get down here and I see something I think you guys might want to look at. I'll share you. May get down there where we made the gang sets on the beavers both sides of the road. We'll see how much that's dried up. I'll probably turn it back on, let you look at that area. All right, guys, so I just want to take a look here at this set. This is a set where I don't know how many beaver we ended up catching here, probably 6 or 7 beaver and a couple of raccoons, but it was a really productive crossover set. And I just wanted to step over here and look down in here and see if you want to think catching that many you caught all the animals living in here, but then again, catching that many makes me wonder if this isn't just a major highway that they use. All the beavers from all over come through. But I just want to look and see how much this is being used. And I'm I'm not really seeing any new activity here. It may be a little bit wet. There's a little bit mud dropped up there, but that might have been the last time I come out of there. So hopefully we did. Hopefully we did have got most of the beavers out of this area. But you can see the castor mounds that they had placed up there marking the territory. I don't see any fresh new mud pushed up there where another beavers come in here and marked it. So I feel pretty confident we've got the majority of those out of here. I ease on up here a little bit and I'll show you where we had those drowning sets and had the beavers on both sides of the gravel road set. We'll look at it, see how much the water's gone down, see if we can tell there's any more activity in there. I know that's a major colony area there on both sides. I know where those huts are at and where they're living, and I got a pretty good feeling I haven't got them all out of there. That's one place I do catch beaver every year I come in here, and it's just because these woods are so flooded up, and the hut's back in the timber on a creek system, and I just can't walk back in there like I need to get close enough to them to get them all caught. But I do help every year catching them out of there. But anyway, stick tight and we'll get up here and check on that. All right, guys, so here we are. This is where we had the feuding beaver at. I actually know where both of these huts are at. I just can't get to them because of the water. There's a slough that runs through these woods right here, and you can kind of see the beginning of it. You follow this slough back in there, and the beaver's got a big hut sitting back in here. I walked back there to it just to check it out a few years ago, and so I know where they're living, and they're gonna continue to be more. I'm not ever gonna get them all caught out of here, not being able to get back in there to it. And then on this side of the road, they've got a little hut right here, which you've seen in the videos. But if I go on back down, back in the woods, about the same distance as this other side, I know where there's a huge hut back over here too, but again, with all the water, I just can't get to it. And you can see the difference. It's not much lower on this side. They haven't started pumping the water out of here yet, but this is where we had the 2 footholds. Had one set here and one set right down there, and made several catches. Then over here we had the 2 drowning rods. Had one drowning rod right over here with the sticks sticking up, and then we had the other drowning rod where we had some beaver catches and an otter catch right here by this drain, where Kinsley broke the drain that morning playing with it and then clogged it back up with a stick. This is where that was at. Of course, at that time, that water was a good, I don't know, 4 foot higher in here. I mean, you can pretty much see the water line of where the water was at before they started draining it all out of here. But and I'm really not seeing, you can still see the remnants of these old mounds that I talked about in the video, but just quick looking in here, I'm not really seeing a lot of activity in here. So I'm not seeing really any new mounds built up on either side of the road. So we definitely caught the majority of the beaver in here. And this is what's left of our blue herring. You guys seen the end of it and the results, and all that's left here is a pile of feathers. But anyway, here's that good picture of that sluice system going through here. I'll get up here and we'll circle around, pull up on the new reservoir that they're building, where I had the coyote sets on both ends, where we done our decoy set with a rabbit, and I'll show you. That's a new reservoir they just built this year, and starting to fill it up with water. So we'll go look at it, and it's probably going to have quite a bit of water in it. Show you the difference in 3 weeks on it. All right, guys. So here's the new reservoir that we come in here and we set. On this end we got the 2 footholds there on the middle, and then on that other end is where we caught the 1 coyote, and I had the rabbit set up on top of that big mound, just trying to tension. They've been working on this pipe system and this pump ever since I've been down here trapping these 3 weeks. It looks like they finally got it working and starting to pump some water out of these ditches into this reservoir. But this is a new reservoir they just built, and next year when I get down here, this thing will be completely full of water, holding water, and they'll work it into the system. I've always heard that a cattle farmer actually isn't a cattle farmer, he's a grass farmer. You know, most of his concentration goes into growing grasses that his cows can eat. And down here, that makes me think kind of the same, use the same analogy down here for these guys. This big farm actually isn't a crop farm, he's a water farmer. I mean, a lot of his majority of time and resources goes into collecting, fetching, holding, moving this water through all these man-made systems, ditches, and reservoirs. it's pretty amazing to get down here and see it and be a part of it. You know, help him catching the beavers and help him his management program, help him to be able to move that water and do things he needs to without the damage that the beavers cause. All right, guys, here's another area that most of you will probably recognize from the videos. And again, we had I don't remember now for sure, but 2, 3, or 4 beaver caught right here out of this area, out of this set. Had it anchored to that wheel on that drainage system. And you can tell how much the water's dropped here. But this is a good time to get out here and look around and find your bank dens and find your areas that you're really using. It's hard to locate that areas when the water's up. But anyway, that just kind of gives you a view of what that looks like. Just a 3-week period of moving water. Right here, guys, is, you know, we had it anchored to that wheel. And I think, yeah, right there is my castor mound. So that's the remnants of that fake castor mound that I made. And right here's the bed that I stepped down and bedded that foothold trap on. So that trap's actually sitting right here under the water, and then we had that castor mound. But that shows you where all this set was at the time. Guys, here's another spot you might recognize from the previous videos. This is the spot where I had you can see my castor mound that I had here, and then we had the trap set down here. I think we had a coon caught one morning in it, only catch we made there. But then we had the crossover coming across right here, dropping down, and then I had a 330 that was underneath that log out there, and I believe we caught an otter in it one morning. But so the water, they're pumping all that water out of this side over into this side, holding it. But you can see how much the water levels dropped in here. And then right up here is a good beaver hut. I'll pull right up here a little bit and I'll show you guys that beaver hut. Well, there's that big beaver hut, guys. And normally if the water was this level, whenever I first started trapping, I'd try to get over there and set those runs coming in and out of that beaver hut, get some of those caught. But of course, when the water, you can tell here where the green grass is at, where the water level was at, there was no way, without a boat or some kind of flotation deal, there was no way that I was gonna walk over there to that hut. And that's just one more thing to slow me down in my route every morning. So I just tried to pick them up on these crossovers where they were traveling anyway, and let them come to me instead of me using the energy every morning to get to them. But not really seeing fresh mud pushed up on the sides, not seeing a lot of activity along the sides where they're marking it. So hopefully over the years I'm keeping these thinned down pretty good, and there's just not the numbers in here that there used to be. But there's no doubt all these abandoned houses, a new beaver get kicked out, he's going to come along. So man, look at this beautiful house here. Nobody's living here. I'm going to move right in. So if I don't come back year after year after year and keep catching beavers, eventually their population is going to grow and just really cause damage again. So that's another thing that makes it so hard for these farmers, is there's just not a lot of people like me that are down here doing this control work on the beavers. And if we just completely disappeared and there were no more beaver trappers in the world within a 2-year, 3-year period, the damage that they cause and the structures and the dams and the water holding capabilities that they can do, basically the beaver will take over, and the farmer just spends more money on equipment and time and effort redoing what the beaver's done so that he can do what he needs to do to keep the water moving. So it's just a constant struggle back and forth of keeping them controlled. Guys, we're almost through this loop. Probably won't see anything else of any interest. If we do, I'll show you. If not, again, thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed this. I find it interesting. I figure some of you guys will. And keep watching. I'll try to keep putting material out as long as you guys are interested. Make comments, guys. I don't know. I'm still learning YouTube. I'm still learning this YouTube stuff. I don't know it all, but I don't know how to look on my YouTube page and see who my subscribers are. it shows me a number. I know I'm around 160 right now, people that follow me, but I don't necessarily know who they are. I know some of you are friends, some of you are family, some of you are lifelong acquaintances. Some of you I didn't know until about 2 months ago. Some of you's comment, the ones that have commented on my videos and on my pictures I've communicated with. I know they are my followers, but other than that, I don't know who you are. So if you're interested in me knowing who you are, be sure to leave me a comment. Just say, hey, make a little comment, something you noticed in the video that you liked, something that you didn't like, something that I can do different. Guys, let's make this thing work. I'm having fun doing it. As long as you guys are interested and y'all want me to do it, let me know. Let me know who you are, and that'll keep my interest peaked. If I know you guys are wanting to see this stuff, it'll make me want to do it. If I don't see a lot of interest, you know, eventually my fun and newness and of it's going to go away, and I'm going to quit. I'm going to quit doing it and move on to other things. So anyway, nice to meet you. Glad to have you along, and we'll see you next time. Yeah, guys, here's talking about what I've been looking for. Here's one of the crossovers that we had set. This is where I caught my big, probably the biggest beaver I caught this year was right here. He was alive when I got here. I didn't have my, I don't remember, I didn't record it for some reason. But we had a couple of misses after that, and I think that's the only catch that I made. But I had that trap bedded right here under the water, and yeah, I can tell that another animal has come through here since then. So this will be an area next year that I know there's still a couple of beaver in here, so this will be a crossover they're going to continue to use all summer long, and their new ones, as the new babies grow up and get out, they're going to follow mom and dad across this crossover. So this is going to be a known crossover. This will be a good area next year for me to set. Come in here and said I'll pick up several beaver off of this crossover, but this is the reason I made this loop, as this water went down, just looking for new areas and planning ahead, and just kind of having a head to give me a hit. I got such a short period down here every year. I got to wait until duck season's over, and then usually that's when we're getting most of our rain and bad weather. So there's only a few good week time period that I can get down here and hammer the beaver before I got to shift gears and go somewhere else. So all this little stuff that I can do like this helps me out to get a faster start down here and use my time the wisest as I'm down here trying to help these guys out and get these beavers caught.